Live in the saddle, die on the hog. Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and as always guys, I'm Andrew. Today I have another book review for you. But before we get to that book review, make sure you are liking and subscribing and hitting that bell notification so you can get regular updates for when I put out new content. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that said guys, today I am reviewing an SPFBO winner. That's the 2017 Jonathan French release, The Grey Bastards, Book 1 in the Lotlands trilogy. This is a trilogy that actually just recently wrapped up, and I decided it was time to finally give it a whirl. And guys, this book competed the same year as Sinlin Ascends. I love Sinlin Ascends, so I was super curious to finally read the book that won that year. And I think this one even knocked it out of the running. I could be wrong with that information. But what's super interesting here, guys, is I ended up loving this book. Like, I loved it so much. Like, I do think it deserved to win that year, just because it's so good. Now, let's talk about, okay, I'm going to put that there. That's the original cover. This is the current cover. Now, do I think that cover is better? Yes, I do. Do I think that this cover better reflects the tone? Also, yes. A lot of people say, well, the self-pub cover was way better. Yeah, but, so this is a very much like a kind of very, very heavily themed on Sons of Anarchy. And, like, it's just got that kind of gang mentality, riding throughout your territory, policing your area, sort of deal. And just kind of enforcing your way of life. And I think this cover does portray that really well. But what's this about? Well, essentially, the Lotlands are a land that was kind of set aside after a war, where basically the orcs were invading, and the half-orcs were slaves, but like the half-orcs rose up, the humans worked together with the elves and the centaurs, and the halflings, and they drove the orcs out. This was like 40 years ago prior to the start of this book. And then basically they all drew lots. And whichever lot you drew, that was your parcel of land. And so they kind of formed these gangs and claimed this as their territory. So the half-orcs, which in this case we are following a specific group that is called a hoof. Each gang is a hoof within the Lotlands. And the hoof that we are following is the Grey Bastards. And that is of course the name of the gang. I'm not just sitting here swearing. It's the title of the first book, and it's the name of their gang. But basically, this is a completely made up of half-orcs. And what's really, really interesting is how much I went from going meh to I freaking love this. And there's a twist halfway through this book that Jonathan French pulls off really well. That just really, really pulled my attention in. But before we get to like anything like that, let's kind of talk about the characters. We've got 3 characters I really want to focus on here. We've got Jackal, we've got Oates, and we have got Fetch. And these are sworn brothers. I'm going to air quote brothers because Fetch is of course female, which actually plays a lot into what's going on here. And we are following them as they kind of just police their lot. Now, what I need to be upfront about with is this book is dark, it is gritty, and most of all, if you don't like raunchy writing, you are probably not going to like The Grey Bastards. This is a very, very raunchy book. These are half-orcs. They have, a raunchy mentality and a raunchy mouth. And that comes through very, very strongly throughout this text. However, I still think it is a very, very enjoyable read, especially the later half of the book. There is just so much camaraderie, so much found family. Essentially, this is all about found family because half-orcs are sterile. And so, they have to go and rescue their own, and they bring them up, and so they kind of fuse together to become a family. And so Oates, Fetch, and Jackal they were raised together. They are childhood friends, and they are full-blooded brothers. The Grey Bastards have been kind of losing strength just due to the rules of, you know, it's a deadly situation. You're fighting orcs because the orcs keep throwing in an incursion. So you ride around on your barbarian, which is just a big, big boar, which I love. I love that their mounts are boars. It's so cool. They call them barbarians. I can't really, you know, if I ever want to monetize this video, I can't really talk about some, like, Hearth. I can talk about Hearth. Hearth is cool. I can't say Oates' boar's name because it's a swear word. But, like, I think Oates' boar is probably my favorite. I fell in love with Hearth, but Oates' boar is awesome. Guys, this book is really, really good. I think one of the greatest things I can say about it is I think it is one of the strongest uses of the first-person POV that I've read in a really long time. Essentially, we are following Jackal, and what's going on is Jackal wants to become leader of the Hoof. The current leader of the Hoof is Claymaster. He's diseased, he is old, and he wants to unseat him and take control of the Great Bastards because he thinks that Claymaster is being weak. And so we are getting the facts as Jackal understands them. And so he is acting upon information that he believes to be correct. The problem is that Jackal is very reactionary, and he doesn't really sit back to think a whole lot. And so, like, as the story progresses, I fully believed I knew what was going on. And then, like, we get the twist. And I'm not going to say what the twist is, and I'm not going to really spoil that. I can't really talk about the second half of this book, because it's pretty much full spoilers. So we're not going to do that. We're going to keep this very, very non-spoiler. And we're going to kind of talk about Jackal and his motivations, and Fetch and Oates. Essentially, Oates is what is called a thrice-blooded. A thrice-blood is basically a half-orc female who is then impregnated by a full-blood orc. And so this creates a bigger, stronger half-orc that is called a thrice. Oates is a thrice. He's this big, burly, strong half-orc. He is just a really loyal friend to Jackal. Like he is a ride-or-die friend for Jackal. No matter what happens, he is going to be there for Jackal, no matter the consequences. Then we've got Fetch. Fetch is just this awesome half-orc female. She is the only female in all of the Hoofs in the Lot lands. And she has won her way in with the help of Jackal and Oates into the Grey Bastards to become a full brother. And so she's got a chip on her shoulder because pretty much the Claymaster who runs the Hoof treats her like garbage. He doesn't want her there. But basically because he was outvoted, or she won enough votes to make it into the Hoof, he can't really do anything about it. So he's constantly like throwing jabs at her and digging and trying to make sure that he can put her down and make her just go away. So she's got this giant chip on her shoulder, and she is willing to throw down. Fetch ends up being one of my favorite characters in this book. Our main POV, of course, actually our really only POV, because this is a first-person POV, is going to be Jackal. Jackal is kind of like that born-to-be leader kind of trope. But at the same time, like, he's still got a lot of growing up to do. So, like, he's just like, oh, no, like, the old regime. It's out with the old and in with the new. And he's very much got that mindset. And so we just see him blundering around the Lot lands, trying to find proof against the Claymaster to pull him out of his seat so he can challenge him for leadership of the Great Bastards. And what we really get to see is him interact with the halflings, the elves, the sludge man, who is this kind of weird character who, like, polices his own lot of land by himself. The sludge man is terrifying. And then we get to see him interact with the humans. They go to a house of ill repute a few times and indulge in their wares. In fact, that's where we start out the book. We get to kind of see him interact with the humans and how the half-orcs view the humans. Specifically, the half-orc younger generation view the humans. It's all very skewed. It's very, very interesting. I will say, guys, like, I was kind of like, I wasn't convinced in the first half of this book. I really wasn't. Like, I won't say first half, first 40%. I was just like, I understand what's going on. Like, it's obvious what's going to happen. Like, Jonathan French, what are you doing? And then that last 60%, my jaw just fell. And then I just could not put this book down. It literally would not leave my hands. Like, it was like glued like this. I just couldn't put it down. I loved this reading experience. If you love grimdark books, if you love raunchy writing, if you like great found family, if you like grimdark, if you like battles, if you like posturing, if you like the Sons of Anarchy, guys, like, you are going to enjoy this book. Is it for everyone? No. It is very raunchy. I will say it is very, very raunchy. That said, guys, I gave this like a 4.25 out of 5. I really, really enjoyed it. I cannot wait for the next book. It's been out for 4 years, so this review is, of course, a backlisted review. But let me know in the comments down below what you thought of The Grey Bastards. Have you read the rest of the Lotlands? Am I in for a treat? Please let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Or if you want to talk on a more regular basis, go ahead and check the description for the link to the Wizardly Duo Discord. We would love to have you. Or if you want to support the channel on a more regular basis, you can go ahead and sign up for the Patreon. Your support is always appreciated. And that said, guys, that's the end of the review. So, till next time, peace out, stay magical, bye. And as always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons.